Today, I'm going to talk about the current state of the market, claim my mystery signings rewards, and talk about a potential market crash coming in the future. So what I'm actually going to do first is claim my mystery signings rewards because that will explain some of the market movement we are seeing. So I'm of course going to go for Ribéry. I think he's a good left mid in game. I will skip it. His stats are incredible. And of course, because we all got him for free, his actual card or his tradable card went down in value. We also have one of 3 of these different milestone rewards. I did see a lot of people go for the 89 to 91, and a lot of people get 89 rated players. And of course, that is going to happen because there's a 95% chance that you're going to get one. So I'm not going to take a gamble on that. I'm actually going for the 87 rated tradable and the 91 Mascherano, which I think is going to be very important and useful to have. Can we actually get an icon here? We get CDM. It's a hero, okay, not an icon. I don't know who this is. Oh, it's it's the Mascherano. That's embarrassing. Okay, Insigne, 2.2 million. I'll take it. So last night, everyone was able to claim those packs, and I thought there would be a decent movement on the market, mainly from 88s and 89s. And while we did see quite a bit of a sell-off of Roberto Carlos, in part from the new Rule Breakers event Ake, and then in part from the milestone rewards, we also saw quite a bit of sell-off in a lot of these other players. We have Desailly. We saw a sell-off of Keane. We saw a sell-off of a lot of these guys. But luckily, a lot of them have actually bounced back pretty quickly. Now, they're not back up to their previous prices, but they're actually doing relatively well, as well as the 89s. As a matter of fact, some 89s are actually a bit higher than they were before. I mean, Blanc is a good player in game. You could see he's back up. He's not at his 14 million coins, but he's all the way up to 11 million. Kaká, who I assume wasn't packed too much, did drop quite significantly, but now he's working his way back up to 9. And a great card in his position, Ballack, is now up to 7. So a lot of them have actually rebounded fairly well. Of course, the 90s were barely even affected. I mean, something that I worried about a little bit was Hullet, but Hullet's up to 40.5 now, so nothing to worry about there. But some of these guys, like Eto'o, did see a bit of price movement. Now, on the other hand, almost no 91s were packed. I didn't see anybody get them, so they are absolutely flying. Yashin's up to 33 million. Mateus is back up to 12.5, 13 million. I bought a copy at 11. I probably should have bought a few more copies at 11. That was an oversight by me. He's going to continue to go up, at least I think so. Cruyff is doing really well. All of these guys are doing fairly well. So the milestone rewards did not make that many waves yesterday, which is good to see, but the new event definitely has made some waves in the positive direction. And as I said in yesterday's video, because people are opening up packs, there's now new rewards, new ways to get gems and coins. People are now able to spend more coins on the high-rated meta players. Now, my prediction was that R9 was going to get to 55-60 million. This morning, I already saw him at 55 million, so he's already on his way there. And while Mbappe is only at about 60 right now, I have seen him between 63 and 65 in the past 12 hours. So they're working their way up, but so is Maldini. I've seen him getting closer and closer to 40 million. I do think he's going to hit it and surpass it, assuming we don't have a massive market crash coming soon, which we might. We'll talk about that here in a second. Hullet, 40 million. I personally think he should be valued the same way Mbappe and R9 are. I don't think he ever will be, but he is a 50 million coin card in my eyes. Now, I'm not going to invest in him now at 40 million. That's too much of a gamble, but he is a great card in game. One of the best, I would say probably the most all-round card in the entire game is Hullet. So those are a lot of the mainstay players. Of course, we also have the UCL cards going up. We got Holland at 45 now, and we have Bellingham up at 30.8. I bought my copy at 25.5 the other day, although what's funny is that his ranked up version's already at 33. It's sort of weird. I'm going to talk about that here in a second, and I'm actually going to make a video later today, I think, about the rank up system and how it's really broken right now, how it's a huge problem for EA FC Mobile, and if they don't do anything about it now, I think it's only going to get worse. But that's for another video. So all those cards are doing fairly well. A great example, though, of a card that I think has been replaced or is starting to be replaced by the new event players is Puskás. You can see here he's at 16.5 to 17 million. He's been staying at around that price range for the past few days, and I think it's because we have new guys like Lacazette coming out. Now, to be fair to Puskás, he actually has incredible shooting. He has better shooting than someone like Lacazette. And he also has a very important trait, which is speed dribbler. I mean, he has tons of traits in general, which is very impressive and makes him good in game, but it's all about playstyle because he is very nimble on the ball, great shooting, but isn't the strongest. And so for the people that want to have a strong attacking striker, Lacazette would now be your option. Good shooting, good pace, good dribbling, but 81 physical makes a huge difference. And as you can see there, it's 82 strength and 87 jumping for the people that want to do a few crosses. Now he's 5'9", he's not going to get up there like Haaland, but it does make a big difference, and when I've played with him, he does hold off defenders pretty well. Plus, he has a finesse shot, so it's almost a given that if he could hold off a defender and get to the top of the box, it's going to be a goal. So that's one example of a player replacing another meta player, or at least taking away coins from the price of another meta player. Another player to look out for, though, is the Ake. Now, we can get him for free in the event section. He's currently going for 22.5 million coins, has decent demand. Of course, packs do offset that a bit, but the player he replaced, and it's crazy to see, but it's Roberto Carlos. Roberto Carlos had 999 plus people trying to buy him at 19.9 million. Now he's down to 19.2. Now, while Roberto Carlos has incredible stats, 90 pace, 83 defending, 83 physical, the issue with Carlos is that he has high work rates, which means that sometimes he's going to be left on the attack versus Ake, who has medium-high work rates. And Ake is just an incredible defender. His AI movements, his AI tackles are incredible. He makes it really easy to use in game, and I think a lot of people are finding that defending isn't the easiest this year, to be completely honest. Player switching is difficult. Properly marking and cutting off passing lanes can be hard because sometimes your player just runs right through and out of position. So I think a lot of people are going to appreciate someone like Ake that stays in his position, marks his defender, and it just makes our lives a lot easier. For those who attack more and are more manual players, Roberto Carlos might be better, but I do think Ake and Carlos are now the top two. And I think what shows this best is the fact that I had Carlos ranked up to level 90. Now before, he actually had decent buying demand. People were trying to buy him for 32 to 34 million coins. I wish I sold him then. Now, as you can see, people are fire selling his ranked up copy. Now, of course, he's not selling because of a different issue with the game with the actual markets, which, like I said, I'll talk about in my rank up video later today. But it's important to see that there are now some players that are actually taking the positions of players that we thought were set in stone. So these guys are great examples of two players that are starting to fit into the meta and are relatively affordable. I mean, 20 million coins is a lot better than 35 for Carlos, and 12.5 to 13 for Lacazette is actually very good for strikers. But where the prices are not as good, and it's starting to show now, is people like Rafael Leao. If you guys saw my last video, he was up at 86 million, I think. I think he got close to almost 90 million, and now he's down to 79, although I did see some listings at 75. So he has dropped 10 to 15 million coins, which I did expect to happen because I thought 85 was way too much for Leao. And of course, because people are spamming that rank up coin method, this 95 rated version is already at 88 million. Now, who knows where his price ends up in the future, but I definitely don't think it's going to be in the 70s. Maybe we see him in the 60 to 65 million coin range. Who knows? The other guy to look at is, of course, Alphonso Davies. He dropped from a similar price, 85 to 90 million, all the way down to 65 to 70. I think this is more of a reasonable price because he's now the highest rated left mid in the game by a long shot. And if you rank him up twice, which we'll go over here, you can see here, he can be a left wing and a left wing back. So he actually has quite a bit of flexibility on the pitch. But at 85 to 90 million, these two were definitely bound to go down. Cool to see though is the fact that these guys here haven't. We have Thiago Silva, who's still holding at the mid 80s. We have Trent, who's still holding at the 40 million coin mark. James, who's still holding at the 40 million. So some of these guys are keeping their price, and I did see a lot of people say Dybala is good, and I've seen him actually go up from about 30 something to about 40 million coins. And I think for the first time this year, we've had a new event bring about tons of players that are actually fit into people's teams. I thought UCL had some decent players, but there wasn't tons that fit into the meta. I thought the Libertadores event had some great players, but it was only a handful. Now we're seeing tons of players out of the new Rule Breaker event. So with that being said, the market is doing relatively well right now, but we might see a bit of a shift in 48 hours time, because that is when the next season of Division Rivals is going to end. And of course, we are going to get rewards. We could look through them quickly here, but if you're in Legendary, FC Champion, or even World Class, we're going to be getting thousands of these competitive points, as well as 84 to 92 overalls, 85 to 94 overalls, even some of these advanced competitive points. And that goes for across 3 different game modes. Now, last time we had the rewards, people didn't pack any crazy players, even the 85 to 94 packs. But where things can get a little interesting is last time we didn't have these packs right away when Division Rival rewards came out. So I think it somewhat managed the amount of sell-off and craziness we had in the markets because the market didn't move that much. But if we get all of our competitive points, all of our players, and these packs in the same day, we can see a serious shift in the market. As you can see here, for 12,500 points, we get an 88 to 94. We could get R9, Zidane, Garrincha, like a lot of these really expensive players that are huge in-game. So I think it's something to watch out for. Of course, for something like that pack, you can only get one at a time, but they do change the packs and refresh them. So we might get even better packs in this next reset. Now, who knows, they might drop the rewards and then these packs a few days apart, that way spreading out the market madness, but we have to make sure we're ready for whatever happens. Now, that doesn't mean go off and sell off your team, but players that I've personally sold off, for example, is Lampard. I packed him, I'm going to get rid of him. I don't think he's going anywhere. I also sold off my Sules because I'm just going to stick with Kyle Walker. But selling off players that you don't need right now when the market is doing relatively well is a decent idea. Also, if you have investments like I have here with Mateus, I'm looking to sell him probably in the next 24 hours or so, looking to collect some coins and then move on. I essentially just want to keep the current team that I have, and that's about it. Now, I do know that the market crash could decrease the value of my team and I could have saved a lot of coins, but I don't believe in selling off your entire team when these things happen because all it does is it accelerates the sell-off. If people just kept the cards that they liked and didn't panic sell their entire teams, we actually wouldn't see that much of a price drop. So I'm going to do my part, hold on to this beautiful team that I have right now, and I'm going to see if I could hit FC Champion in head-to-head. That is my goal. I will make videos about it. I have faltered. I dropped down to Legendary 2 before. Now I'm back up to Legendary 1. I gotta say, Legendary 1 is the sweatiest. So it's rat infested. Just spam cross, spam cross, spam cross. It's crazy. But I'm gonna grind it out, see if I could get there. Let me know how you guys are doing in FC Mobile right now. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.